Hey there, everyone, and thank you for being here for our Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce new member orientation. I am the membership director of our chamber, Jordan Nace, and I'm really happy to have a star-studded lineup behind me here today speaking, who I will introduce in a few moments. But first, I am thrilled that Steve Christian, the president of our chamber, had the ability to be here for a little while this afternoon, and he would like to say a few words. So Steve, please, if you don't mind, love to have you speak.
Sure. Thank you, Jordan. And I really just wanted to take a few brief moments at the beginning to thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your investment in the chamber. Joining the chamber is really just the very beginning. In a lot of ways, sometimes we like to compare it to, say, joining a gym or a health club. That's just the start. You join because you want to get better, you want to get stronger, you want to get much more fit and energetic, and there's a whole host of programs that are available to you through that membership. And the same is true here at the chamber. You commit your time and your dollars in an investment in a chamber membership, and that's really just the beginning. We've got numerous programs and activities that are available to you, and by leveraging using those and committing your time and your resources to really taking advantage of those programs, is really how you're going to get the most out of it. You really get out of it what you put into it, and the spectrum of available choices for you as a chamber member here at the Chambersburg Chamber are really broad. And whether it's networking events, both small and large, small mixers, huge breakfast and dinner events, all of those things give you an opportunity to leverage the ability to network with the businesses all around the Chambersburg and Franklin County area. But there's a number of other programs as well, including insurance, which we're going to talk about today, business insurance, health insurance. There's programs for energy use and utilities. There are learning seminars available, training, managerial support. So I would encourage you to, like your health club or gym membership, invest your time and your energy into it, and you will get a lot out of it. And this is a really awesome time for you to be joining the chamber. We are on the cusp of some exciting new initiatives that are going to broaden the scope and the reach of our overall membership and the impact of all of the advertising opportunities and the networking opportunities that we offer our members. So we just couldn't be happier that you're here. Again, thank you for your time and your investment. I think that as you embark on your journey in partnership with the chamber, you're going to find yourself in the company of many others who are really appreciating and really being able to enjoy and participate in the growth of the business here in Chambersburg. Thank you very much.
Steve, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So everyone, just quickly here before we do jump into the presentation part of this, this Zoom call is being recorded and it will be posted on all of our social media pages, because I know some folks do have obligations on a Thursday at 2 p.m., so that just is certainly how it is. So we will post that all over the place. I encourage anyone in here, as well as the ambassador group, to share this recording. To anyone who's on the fence about membership, or anyone that you would think would benefit from any of the things that we talk about here today. Just to give everybody an idea of what today is going to look like, it will be, we're giving everybody an allotment of about 10 to 15 minutes to present present and then do a Q&A. If things run over, that's quite all right. So first, I'm happy to announce that we're going to have here today Christopher Sloan. He is from the My Benefit Advisor group, and he will be speaking about health insurance options available through the Chamber Choice program for folks in situations where they're looking for health insurance for employees where it's 1 through 9, or even situations where it's 10 plus employees. So Chris, please, if you don't mind, I'm going to turn everything over to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jordan, for the introduction. Thank you, Stephen, for having me here today and kicking this off with the new member orientation. So as Jordan mentioned, I'm Chris Sloan from My Benefit Advisor. For those of you who aren't aware of who we are the Chamber's new employee benefit administrator. My Benefit Advisor specifically is designed to handle associations and chambers of commerce's from sole proprietors and individuals through small to mid-sized businesses, as well as managing all the different aspects of running an employee benefit program. So I just want to share to you today some of the resources and some of the programs that we've created for all of the Greater Chambersburg Chamber members. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through just a couple of the updates that we have. So being one of the largest employee benefit administrators for chambers of commerce's and associations, we have created this website for all of you to access. So it just gives you an overview of who we are. So it's gccc.mybenefitadvisor.com. And when you get to the homepage here, it gives you a little bit of an introduction on what we're focused on. And so when we talk about individuals, sole proprietors, small businesses, and people looking to enroll in Medicare, usually falls across one of these 4 spectrums, from consulting to account management to enrollment and compliance. So that's our approach when we help out a small business member. And so we have an appetite for individual and family coverage, and we have an appetite for small and mid-sized businesses. Our parent company, USI Insurance, they handle employers that have the hundreds and thousands employee range. When you're dealing with small businesses through the Chamber of Commerce, it's a different type of model where it's technology and service and people. And that's where we've put all of our resources into. So it really talks up here about which do you fall under. Are you an employer? Are you an individual? Are you looking for Medicare assistance? Are you looking for human resource assistance, compliance updates? And really, when you click into the read more function here, it talks about all of our different solutions. So this is a public website. We don't have a problem with our competitors out there seeing what we're doing, right? We built this for the Chamber of Commerce because we knew it was best in class. So as you go through the drop down here, it kind of goes into the different solutions that we have, from like the individuals that we talked about earlier to different small business solutions, and even different webcast recordings that we're doing. As you've noticed recently with the American Rescue Plan Act, Washington loves to tinker with the health insurance industry. So anytime there's a change, we do a webcast recording on it. One of the most powerful things that I think we were able to accomplish is right when the PPP program came out, we had John Blackstock from the Small Business Administration come on and do a 1-hour webinar with our clients. I don't know of any other insurance agency in the state of Pennsylvania and really in the tri-state area that was able to get a representative from the SBA to talk to members. And so that maxed out at 1,000 clients and chamber members. And he did 30 minutes of what the program was, and then he did another 30 minutes of just questions and answers. So it just kind of shows you that when you pool all of your resources into small businesses, you can really accomplish and help people outside of the realm of just, consulting on an employee benefit program. So we house all of our updates here. So it doesn't make a difference if you have Capital Blue Cross, if you have United Healthcare, if you're with Highmark, right? We have all of the updates in here as far as medical insurance needs information. So if you needed to know where to go for telemedicine, if you needed to understand any of the resources around the COVID testing, we have all of that on the website here for chamber members. Just talking a little bit about Medicare, right? So if you are approaching 65, we can help you with that. whether it's going through the Social Security Administration website, we have a team of people that will walk you through, and then finding the right supplement policies that match the prescriptions that you're taking to make sure that you get robust coverage. So please contact us, friends, family, anybody through the chamber that needs Medicare assistance. We'd be glad to help. And then again, also, if you're a sole proprietor that don't qualify for group plans, if you need individual coverage or dental and vision, we have these available for you, whether it's on exchange or off exchange. As you may or may not know, the Pennsylvania State Insurance Exchange is now called Penny. We're certified on that. We have access to all the options. And we're one of the few insurance brokers out there. We have a dental and vision program for chamber members with no waiting periods. You can pick it up as an individual. I'm not aware of too many programs out there that insurance agencies where you can pick up a dental or a vision program without a waiting period and not through a business. So this is our website. We really want people to come and take a look at it and see all the different resources that we have. And if you are an employer, we have a new presentation to walk employers through all the resources that they have access to through the Chamber of Commerce. And so when we break it down, we have different resources for under 10, 10 to 50, and 50 plus. So if you're a small business with 10 employees, you know, it kind of just walks through what the chamber program's about, which is you focus on your business and we'll focus on your benefits. And so again, it breaks it down into those 4 different areas of consulting, communication, account management, and compliance. It shows you our expertise across Pennsylvania and into New Jersey, Delaware, and New York, and we're expanding as well. And when you go into consulting, we do all different types of white papers, changes in the industry. We have experts in every single area, account managers, consultants like myself. We have a benefit service team that answers your employees' questions and answers and does claim reviews, as well as just walking people through any questions that they have on their plan in general, so that you, the business owner, don't have to do that. And we have benefit counsel on staff in the event we need something a little bit more robust in explanation. So we also work with self-funding and level funding. So that's pretty popular right now, whether you're a 2+ employer or a 10+ employer, depending on the carrier that you're working with. We are the only agency in Pennsylvania that has been able to go out and get a discount on health insurance premiums for chamber members. So if you're looking into the self-funding or level funding with Aetna or United Healthcare, we will always be 2% cheaper than every other insurance broker in the area. So that's because of the amount of volume that we do with these carriers, that and they understand the relationship of the Chamber of Commerce with us, and realize that in the past, everybody wanted to join the chamber to get access to the health insurance programs. And when the Affordable Care Act came out and got rid of those association plans, we had to pivot and provide some way that we could get association members a reduced rate. So if it's an Affordable Care Act plan, those are filed with the state insurance department. We can't do anything about those rates, but if you are looking into self-funding or level funding with Aetna United Healthcare, we have 2% additional there. We also have an exclusive Franklin Health Consortium and also our exclusive Roundstone Medical Captive for employers that are in the 25+ range. Another popular concept right now is tiered networking with certain carriers. So these are all different solutions that we have from a consulting basis. Add that into your traditional health reimbursement arrangements, health savings accounts. When we talk about managing a whole entire plan, it really comes down to also the enrollment of your options. And so we have different enrollment technologies, whether it's our new benefit system that does a quote to enrollment, or whether it's Employee Navigator for businesses that are 25+ that need year-round benefit administration systems that integrate with payroll. We can really build your infrastructure, especially during a work from home environment and the kind of virtual settings that people have been pushed into during the pandemic. So, you know, guidebooks, videos, let us communicate it to your employees so that you don't have to do all of that work. And then really it's a proactive approach year round. You can't just call your clients up at renewal and go through everything in 45 days. So we have a proactive service calendar, make sure that we're doing everything on a timely basis with you, and get a sense of what you're trying to accomplish as a business. so that, we can adjust at renewal time and move quickly. Again, the Benefit Service Center for employees, so that you don't have to answer all these questions on prescription issues or ID card replacements. And then human resource support. So all of our clients, from 1 employee, 2 employees and above, get access to a resource called Think HR. Think HR is 3 different components. It's a document search center, it's a live function to talk to human resource professionals, and it's a training courses. And it also has a living handbook. So you can talk to an HR professional over here, the H800 number. You can write into the queue here, get any question answered by a SHRM certified human resource professional. Or you can go into the reliable Google, is what I like to call this, Comply. And it has everything from how to do new hire toolkits, to termination guides, how to manage your staff, and just even the coronavirus resources that they have. Little 2-minute updates, webinars, checklists, essential business letters, furloughed letters, anything that you can think of as far as human resources. Like I said, if you went into Google and searched this, you might check the first couple of links. Whereas our Think HR, that everything in here is HR certified. So again, these 3 different components, very powerful. All of our clients through the chamber get this. And then making sure that you're up to date with all the changes in Washington. There was recently a change in COBRA subsidies, and we did a webcast on that, as well as sent out a couple different compliance bulletins. So when you become a client of ours and you come into our homepage here, we house everything as far as the changes that are going on. So here was the one on April 9th as far as the COBRA subsidy, and here was a digest from the first quarter of all of the different compliance updates that we do. So we have a whole team of people, and all their job is to make sure that our clients are up to date with what's going on with the subsidies. So that's a little bit about compliance and our bulletins that we do and our podcasts that we do, as well as the white papers. And then again, exclusive products and savings, right? We're like a benefit shop on steroids. We can do everything a traditional broker can do. And then we're creating programs where we can for the chamber as well. So if something's going to change in the future, we certainly will be on top of it. So this just talks a little bit about our 2% premium savings on Aetna and United Healthcare, our individual MetLife program for dental and vision. We also have one with United Healthcare. We created our own professional employer organization as well. So if you're looking to outsource all benefits, payroll, workers' comp, HR, 401k, recruiting, we do have a program available administered through Able HR. One of the new employee benefits to pay attention to is student loan repayment. People in my generation are saddled with student debt. And if you gave an option to somebody that's younger and said, instead of employer matching 6% on a 401k, if you said, listen, I'll take half of that match and put it towards your student loan repayment, they would definitely take that. So we have a new technology called Goodly that helps students pay off their debt quicker. And employers, there are tax deductible benefits that you can use as putting one of these in place. And then health reimbursement coverage or individual coverage with health reimbursement arrangements, also known as ICRAs. We're developing technology around those. And, it just talks a little bit about all these different solutions that we have. So this is kind of our chamber platform. And then we say, please, take the chamber's program and compare it to what you're currently getting. And you'll see this is the whole entire platform. And so, we really have built what we consider to be the best in class program for the chamber members. Now, if I can find a way to stop sharing. That's a little bit of the end of our presentation from my benefit advisor. I'll take any questions at this point.
Well, Chris, you might get some questions coming in here in a moment, but I just wanted to say we had a comment come in, and it was just love the HR Think resource, which is invaluable for a small company. So the Think HR resource, and that is certainly a way that you all are able to separate yourselves from some of the other organizations, I think that are out there. So yeah, just wanted to make that comment there. Anybody else have any questions for Chris? Chris, you did a great job. I appreciate that. And just like a true professional, I'd say you came right in there between that 10 to 15 minute threshold. So I certainly appreciate that. And again, this is going to be a great tool to have for, obviously, right now, for all the new members that we have on the call right this second, and then any other new members that can't be with us here this afternoon. They're obviously going to have a chance to see this whenever this is played back and get all that great information that you shared, Chris. So and I would be happy to actually share that link out when we share this video as well. So thank you so much.
No problem, Jordan. I appreciate everybody having me on here today. Feel free to message me privately if you have any questions. And again, everybody that is a chamber member that works with us and in turn will help the chamber out and grow as well. So, you know, we appreciate you having us here today. Thanks.
No problem, Chris. All right. So that was Chris from the My Benefit Advisor Group, Christopher Sloan. They have a great product there, and so I highly encourage anybody looking to learn more information on the from a health insurance standpoint to please get a hold of him, and I will make sure we include all of his contact information out to everybody whenever we share this video. So next up, I am happy to bring onto the screen Cheryl Heft. She is from the World Connect Energy team, and she's going to be speaking with us about the Chamber Choice program from an electric solution standpoint. So if you're interested in saving some money on your electric bill and you are outside of the Chamber borough, she is certainly going to be able to help you. So Cheryl, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Hi, Jordan. Thanks so much for having me today. I apologize for the glare. It's the afternoon sun that I just haven't been able to adjust. But also a big shout out to Steve. Thank you so much for the endorsement of the Chamber Choice program with us. We've had a long time relationship with Chambersburg Chamber as far as it comes to endorsing the energy program since re-regulation in specifically your West Penn Power, where most of your companies are centered. So I just want to talk a little bit briefly today about the program and how it can benefit almost any member. As Jordan mentioned, we can't help you if you're in the borough, but if you're in West Penn Power, any public utility across the state of PA, we have the ability to help you shop for electricity and natural gas. So for those of you who may not know, your bill is made up into 3 sections. And the first section is distribution. That would be your public utility, whether it's West Penn Power, Penelec. There are a handful of Penelec accounts down there in the Chambersburg area. That part you don't have the ability to shop for. They are your public utility, and their only job is to provide you safe and reliable power. Your generation and transmission, however, you have the ability to shop for, and that's where we come in. We are an independent broker. We would put your account out to over 30 third-party suppliers, and we would collect requests for pricing upon your behalf. Typically, that takes about 5 to 10 business days, and all it requires are 2 things. First would be a copy of your electric or natural gas bill. And then secondly, it would require something called a letter of authorization. This simply gives us the ability to price all of your accounts. So once we get that back, we review not only price, but contract language. And that's a really important part. I know many of you existing members talk to me about phone calls that they get frequently from individuals trying to sell them electricity, put them into a contract, and they complain because they think they're getting a 6-cent rate, and when all is said and done, they end up paying 7.5. Well, that's what we try to navigate for you to make sure when we're putting you into a contract that it is an actual price contract, a fixed price contract for the term of the contract. So that's a huge part of what we do for you, not just do that RFP, but negotiate contract language on your behalf with whatever third-party supplier we put you into. Chris is a tough act to follow because they do an awful lot for the individuals that participate in their program. And I just want to tell you, we do something very similar. So most individuals, most companies, associations are looking at a 24, 36-month contract. And while the average broker is booking you and then calling you a few months prior to when that contract might end. We're actually managing your energy from the time that you sign a contract with us. And some individuals say, you've got to be kidding, but it is true. Literally within 30, 60 days of your contract being signed, we're looking at the market and we're giving you market-based recommendations, not worrying about what's going to happen when your actual contract comes due. And that's a huge portion of the value that we bring to the table when it comes to a consultant. We subscribe to something called the Bloomberg Terminal. It's one of the few places you can go to and find out what electricity is trading at this given moment in time. So that gives us the ability to give you a good recommendation based upon what we see those current and future market conditions to be. So we're establishing a relationship. We're not just putting you into a contract to put you in a contract. I will tell you, over the course of the last 6 months, pricing with the public utility has been fairly low. So there are some individuals that will manage and say, look, you're better off on your utility price right now. We'll work with you. We'll take a look at what that price to compare, the PTC is, and we'll make a recommendation for possibly a future moment in time, rather than just putting you into the contract for the sake of putting you into a contract. World Connect Energy also has the ability to help you with sustainable energy. We're currently working on some solar projects. Our brand name is Everything Energy, and I will tell you, we have the experts that stand behind that in order to assist you in all of those types of services as well. One last thing, I know in the chamber, there are a lot of sole proprietor businesses, and then we even have large manufacturers. The beauty of our program is a small sole proprietor gets the same individualized attention that a large manufacturer would have. And that's really important. I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of the fact that we have the ability to help individuals that may not necessarily have the same resources as larger industrial commercial manufacturers. So again, in my opinion, that's another really important fact to consider when you're looking at obtaining an energy consultant. It's not just somebody calling you from out of state or even somewhere. We're close. You know, our company is centralized here in Pennsylvania with a lot of our energy procurement. So that gives us expertise in your public utility and the ability to shop for any size kilowatt hour decatherm for natural gas that you might possibly have. So I see that Jordan has very kindly put my information up there. I would urge you to reach out. Even if you have questions, as a member in good standing, we're happy to help you with any of your energy needs as it would relate to shopping or even consulting.
Cheryl, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And just because I've seen you in work, I mean, really just to elaborate more, how easy is it to get started? So, I mean, somebody reaches out to me, they're like, hey, I see through the chamber you offer an electric savings program. Can you tell me more about that? How easy is it for them to get started with you? All they need to do is simply get a previous copy of their electric bill, send it to you, and then you can start your magic?
That's it. Their most recent electric bill, page 123, if it's a West Penn Power bill, and that's all we need in order to get started.
Wonderful. All right. Well, anybody have any questions for Cheryl? Again, we're right on time and I appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for your presentation. Anybody have any questions? I don't see anything coming in right now. But again, that's because so far we're 2 for 2 in an excellent presentation. So certainly appreciate that. Again, as I said with Chris, we'll go ahead, and I know the information was there during the presentation, but I will go ahead and send Cheryl's information out when I send this video out as well. So, hey, looks like you have a little friend there. So say hello to him as well, or her. So thanks, Cheryl. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So moving right along here, this is going really, really well, and I appreciate everybody being here today and doing such a wonderful job. Next up, we have Pat Abbott, and she is from the Strickler Agent. She's from Strickler Agency Incorporated, and Pat will be telling us more about the Chamber Plus program. That's something that you can take benefit in by being a chamber member, by simply being a chamber member. The total dividends paid to our members since 2006, and hopefully you all saw this in our Outlook newsletter, is $2,756,619. So Pat is going to give us more information on this awesome program. So Pat, please take it away.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, this is a very simple program for chamber members to take advantage of. It's exclusive to chamber members. It's actually a pool of chamber members from the Shippensburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, Waynesboro, Tuscarora, and the Carlisle Chambers of Commerce. We actually have the 6 chambers pooled together. And what we do is, if we quote your insurance through Penn National in their chamber program that they put together, members have the opportunity to earn dividends back on their premiums. So we pool the premiums of all of the chamber members. We also pool all of the claims of the chamber members, and based on how the membership performs, the members receive back dividends on their premiums. And this goes to all of the policies that they have except for umbrella and bonds. So it's a really nice program. We've actually had really good dividend payouts for the last several years. This last year, which would have been the payout for the 2019 year, members received back 11% of their premiums in dividends. The year before that, it was 19%. And then we had another couple years where it was 14 and 15%. So this has been like the 7th year in a row where we've paid out a really nice dividend to the chamber members. It's just a really good opportunity, and it costs you nothing to look at it to see if you're a good fit for the program. And our agency is happy to help you to get a quote, see if it's something that's competitive with your current program. And if it is, it's really nice to get that extra dividend check that you wouldn't normally receive. So if anybody has questions on it, I would be more than happy to answer it for them. But it's really easy to get a quote. Just give us a call here at the agency and we can run it for you.
Pat, I certainly appreciate that. So really somebody, it's easy enough, just give them your number, email or whatnot, have them reach out, and then it's a matter of just getting on the phone with them. And I mean, either sitting down together, Zoom, whatever it is, and then you just speak more, and then you can kind of get them all set up with this program, correct?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Anybody have any questions for Pat? Obviously, she does a great job. It's short and dry, but they do an amazing program, and the money that comes back to that dividend program obviously speaks for itself. Typically, they also, you'll see in our Outlook newsletter that goes out, they normally have an insert in there. So hopefully whenever you're opening that up and see our Outlook newsletter, you will also see an insert in there, which will tell you a little bit more about that Chamber Plus program. So again, Pat's a wonderful lady, and this whole program is great. Strickler Agency is great. So I would highly encourage everybody that is a chamber member that is not taking a benefit in that program to certainly reach out and do so. So Pat, thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty. So next, I believe, is my friend Jenny. Jenny, as long as you're ready to go, she is the executive director from the Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce Foundation, and she will be speaking with us about who they are, what they do, and all of the wonderful events they have throughout the year. Can't wait to hear from Jenny. She does such a great job as the executive director of the foundation, and I'm so happy that she's a part of the team. So Jenny, please.
You are so kind, Jordan. Can everybody see my screen? I hope you can.
I believe
okay, so I'm Jenny Harriger. I am the executive director of the Chamber Foundation, and we're one of the affiliates of the Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce. I've been here since about 2018 and had some background in sales and marketing in the publishing industry for about 25 years. So coming to nonprofit world was a complete change for me, but boy, it has been a really good fit. We do a lot of good work. One of the biggest things that I think new members have a question about, that I've talked to Jordan about, or he'll send me a new member has a question, is what is the foundation? What do they do? So I'm really excited to be able to talk to you a little today about what our role is. So we are the educational arm for the Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce. We are one of the only foundations, I think we're the only foundation under a chamber umbrella in the county. So we don't just serve our members here in Chambersburg, we try to service all members and the whole county. And I'll tell you why in a little bit, because of the programmatic side of what we do. We have two different and distinct sides. We have a board of directors that oversees all of our programming and is kind of the guiding force behind the foundation work and mission. But we have two specific roles here, and the education of leadership and development, as well as workforce development, are the two big missions for the Chamber Foundation. So you might be very familiar with Leadership Franklin County. Is there anybody on the call? I know that Sam's a graduate. Is anybody else by any chance? Lynn St. Clair's on, she's a graduate. Anybody else have heard of Leadership Franklin County before? Maybe you have. Good, I see Christine. So this is, a legacy program that's been in place with Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce since 1985. It started out as the Leadership Chambersburg program. And soon after, it was decided that really this program needs to develop leaders and community-minded members that are going to go out and do good work in volunteer roles throughout the county. And so it took on a new name and it became Leadership Franklin County as opposed to just Leadership Chambersburg. Many chambers have a leadership program, and there's also quite a few leadership programs in the country that I have talked to that are freestanding. I think Harrisburg's is freestanding. Washington County has a great program. We're very hyper local. We have a 9-month program that we put students through. We recruit right now. We're in the process of recruiting for a class that will start in the fall. It's a tuition-based program, and they go through 9 months of topics. And I won't go through all those topics, but you can see when you go onto our website, there is a program, a brochure here that's updated every year. And the goal of the program is to help them network, help them understand who the key players are in all the different areas of Franklin County, whether that be government, the arts, economic development, health. We did a education summit this year, which involved a lot of the superintendents and teachers and a lot of questions that the students had about what was going on in the classrooms because of COVID. So the steering committee that actually oversees the leadership program for the community side not only has some traditional topics they cover, but they try to layer in, real world, what's going on right now. Most students will network with 70 to 75 new people throughout the year. So that is if you're in a business where you want to put your employees or yourself out to meet new people that you normally wouldn't see on a daily basis, this is a great program to get into. And then the goal is to really help them discover what their passion is as far as volunteering. We have some people that are very high profile graduates like Commissioner Keller and Janet Pollard from the Franklin County Visitors Bureau, Sam Thrush, DCI president. And then we have other graduates that their fit for their self is going to be probably maybe not as visible, and they're doing good work in other ways. In 2009, a group of graduates got together and decided, you know what, this is a great program and we want it to go on forever and ever, but we believe that there should be a youth component to this program. So in 2009, they put together the curriculum that became Leadership Franklin County Youth. And I'm actually just preparing for this class's graduation, which will occur virtually on Sunday. They are underwritten by Wilson College, and I want to say F&M Bank is our sponsor for the adult program. They've been virtual all year. We do interviews in all the high schools. So we go into public and private schools. We would take homeschool applications if we got them. We take somewhere between 20 and 25 students every year. It's very competitive. And they go through I don't want to call it a mini version, but a youth version of what the adults go through. We talk about everything from change management to understanding others. We don't do a DISC assessment like we do with the adults, but we do a color assessment with them, which is a personality type assessment, which helps them understand better how they're wired and why other people think differently than they do, and how as leaders they need to be very understanding and pull all those talents together. So this year, of course, with COVID has been very complicated with shifting school schedules. And but both steering committees have been very, very adamant about not dropping programming this year, which we're very blessed to have that mentality, because a lot of programs across the country stopped because of the pandemic. The students, because of their size and the school schedule, stayed virtual all year. The adults had been in person and then went into virtual when there was some challenges during December and early spring, and are back in person. And both of them will graduate here, one this week, one the beginning of May. And we have already chosen our class of youth for 2022, which will start here in May. So we finish one, and a few weeks later we start one, and we're recruiting for the adult class. So it's very, very busy right now in foundation world. And it's very exciting to see the adults and the students kind of go through this journey. After you graduate as an adult, you become one of the 683 plus alumni. So we have a very active alumni program that's being run by our committee chair, which is Angie Quigley out of SEK. Shout out to SEK, they're a great partner for us. And they're doing a lot of good work. They're re-energizing our alumni and have a couple of things up their sleeves that they're going to roll out here programmatically, and some other things to continue, I would say, like adding on to all of the opportunities that our leadership graduates have in the county. So that's the leadership side of the foundation. It's pretty vast. I would say it's about 75% of what we do. I have ideas all the time flying through my head of how we could impact and grow the force of people that are good partners for board of directors or volunteer. There's so many coalitions of volunteer opportunities in the area. And it's just an amazing program. The other part of the foundation is we do a lot of workforce development. And that's a connector kind of community where we're bringing together, and that's a little bit on here. You can read about it. Our workforce development sponsor is WellSpan. We bring together a group every month that is educators. They could be career counselors at the high school. They could be counselors at the high school. Cassius, for instance, also has a person that's in charge of getting students out into job shadowing situations. Bennett Metal, a little bit smaller. They don't have as big of a high school. But we work with them, and then we bring business partners. They could be chamber members, they could be nonprofit organizations into that meeting. And we have a lot of discussions about what's going on with our students, so that when they come out, whether they're going higher ed, technical school, military, going straight to work, what's real life look like? And a lot of business partners and chamber members don't realize that the state of Pennsylvania has a lot of rules and regulations on the public school side of what needs to be documented by student to get students prepared. I know when a long time ago, when I was in high school, you know, at about 10th, 11th grade, everybody starts asking you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And, you know, everybody kind of does the same thing. Oh, you know, right now, my sons, everybody was into sports management. They were into their teams. But the state of Pennsylvania is trying to back that up. So they're about 3rd grade, they start introducing different things that will help students kind of understand where their skills are and what they think, and bringing more opportunities to the forefront so they can think about where they want to end up, instead of just picking something randomly maybe. And not all students are like that, but a lot of them are in high school, and help guiding them to different opportunities so they can make a decision. The CEC side of our workforce development comes together to try to help in that space so that business partners can see what's going on in the schools and maybe step in and say, I have an opportunity. I'd love to have a student shadow. Or they might be able to help a business or an educator understand what would be expected if they would come to Martin's Potato Roll and they wanted to interview. Soft skills, or they call them essential skills right now, is really something they work on. Our students many of them went to Chromebooks this year for learning, but we're discovering that some of the Microsoft suite, like Office suite, kind of Excel, PowerPoint, they aren't initially offered on the platforms that the electronic base that the student's using. So the student gets out into the workforce and they aren't proficient in PowerPoint. So there's a lot of discovery there when you bring people together, and it's a very open space. We did earlier this year a career panel on logistics, transportation, and distribution. That's a big area right now. And we had people come in from Procter & Gamble, FedEx Transportation, and talking about, we need people. We have really good jobs and what we offer, and this is how you can get a student into that. The next month we were talking about resumes and what does a student need if they're going higher ed, and what's a student that's going right out into the workforce? What does that resume look like? We try to do that in an hour. It's a huge space, and people that have been in workforce development will tell you it never goes away, the need, it just changes. A year ago, unemployment here in Franklin County, well, a little more than a year ago, was very low. It spiked to about 13.8%. I think last time I saw it was in the 7% range, but there were quite a few people that just stepped out of the workforce because students were home and they just couldn't work. So that affects this as well. And we try to we're a connector. That's what the foundation tries to do, connect people so they can have that kind of conversation and possibly give an opportunity to the educators that they wouldn't necessarily have at their fingertips. The other part of what we do, and maybe some of you are familiar with this, is we are an EIO, which is an educational improvement organization. So we are able to accept EITC funds. What we do specifically with those funds is we run a technology innovation grant program, which we're in the process right now of reviewing 5 grants that came in. And then what will happen with those grants is we will award those grants, and then we will pay that money out through the EITC funds to the school districts, and they must be public schools, but that money will go right back into the classroom. So we are basically, again, the connector between the business community, the EITC funds, and the educators. And it's just amazing. And that's K through 12. So it isn't just high school. We've had grant proposals that have come in for kindergartners all the way up through high schoolers. And the state has, very specific regulations of what has to happen with those grants. So we review the grants, they go up through the state, they get approved, and then we will push that out. This year in August, we will have our education summit, and it will be in person. I'm gonna knock on wood then I say that, and it will be a breakfast to be determined where it'll be. But we will have the educators that have been awarded in 2018, 2019, and 2021 be invited to that event. So if you haven't signed up, you might want to attend. And we will, in some cases, the projects have already completed, and we will probably have some kind of display or information about how those EITC funds, what that actually looked like when it was put into play with the technology that was bought in the classroom for their grants. So we're excited about that opportunity too. Last but not least, how many people like ice cream on this call? So our one and only main fundraiser is Scoopapalooza. It is in its 12th year. It used to be pre-pandemic, a one-day event at the high school. Cassius would allow us to come into the cafeteria, and you would pay a fee to come in with your family. And you would test all the ice cream. We'd have vendors that would come. They would donate the ice cream. You would get to basically eat unlimited amounts of ice cream in small quantities all day long if you wanted to. You got to vote on your favorite flavors, and it was a great fun event for everyone. Last year, our option was cancel it completely or come up with a whole entire new way of doing Scoop. And ACMB Bank has been our sponsor for quite a few years, and they talked to us about this last year about this time and said, if there's any way that we can pull this off, because restaurants were, drive-throughs were open last year. I would say restaurants were open, but there was a version of takeout that was happening. Many of these ice cream places that were open all year, like Kenny's and Meadows, I would say they're doing great, but they were doing better than the ones that were closed. So they just said, if there's a way we can do it, let's try it. So we revamped it. It became a map of places to go out. So we were pushing business out to those businesses that were in many situations hurting. It was safe. It was a no touch because it was virtual. So the ice cream vendors and their employees didn't have to do anything. They donated to be on the map. They donated gift card stuffs, which became our prizes. And we did some virtual events that were not attended by any kind of crowd through Facebook Live. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. And we got thank you notes for about a month afterwards from people that thanked us for doing it, because it was something for the kids to do. And it was a lot of family fun. We had many people that hit all 21 stops on the ice cream trail throughout the month. So we're ramping up for a virtual version this year. We're going to have a collaboration with the Franklin County Library System and their bookmobile. So we're going to be open up a little bit more, but it's impossible to have 17 to 1900 people inside of the Cassius cafeteria this year. Next year, who knows? We'll worry about that next year. Maybe we'll have a month-long map and an in-person event. I'm not sure. But that's a little bit about what the foundation does. It's a lot of fun. If you're interested in any of those programs or sitting on any of those committees or learning more, I'd love to tell you about them. We are soliciting sponsors for the Scoopapalooza, so there's my shameless plug for that. It gets a lot of traction, and it's family fun, and everybody loves ice cream. So we're proud of that. Thanks for letting me talk. And if you have any questions, I'd love to take them.
Well, Jenny, awesome job. And just to speak on you did such a fantastic job with Scoop, because I mean, my goodness, nobody knew what was going on. That was like right at the beginning of the pandemic. And for you to be able to have that much success at Scoop in 2020, seriously, hats off. And you're going to have an amazing time here in 2021, obviously, given all the success that you had scrambling to get things together in 2020. So another thing I just wanted to mention here quickly, there was a comment, and I will give you this person's information, but they said, have not heard of Leadership Franklin County, but very interested in participating. So I'm glad that you came on here today, and hopefully you might have a new participant in Leadership Franklin County then, okay?
Great. And I forgot one thing.
Yeah, please,
one of
go
our,
ahead.
and it's probably the most important thing for new members. The Chamber Foundation runs a job board. And hopefully you don't need people in your place of work, but it happens. And when it happens, you usually want people like yesterday. We do have Franklin County Works job board. It is free to members. We're changing up some platforms here. If you're interested in posting a job, it should not be your only avenue to try to find a new employee. But it definitely is a nice support system. We have a loyal following on Facebook. When it goes up on our job board, we cross-post on Facebook. It's excellent for higher turnover positions and lower skilled, although we do have other types of jobs that go up there. In the near future, I think by the middle of the year, the job board freestanding website will go down, but we will merge onto the larger chamber website, which has much more traffic and I think is going to bring a lot of value, even more value. So if you're interested or you have that situation where you need to post something, just contact me and I'll walk you through it. It's pretty seamless and it's a nice addition to your membership suite of things that Jordan has already gone through with you. So I'm sorry to forget that. That's usually one of the most important things for employers.
No, well, I appreciate you touching on that, because I promise you almost every conversation that I'm having with new members and even existing members is, hey, do you do anything to help with from a hiring standpoint? So that will certainly be a great tool as we really ramp that up here in the future to add to the suites, as you said. So yeah, Jenny, thank you so much. I don't see any more questions or anything like that coming in. So you did a fantastic job, and we'll talk to you again here soon. Okay, thanks. All right. And last up here, from a presenting standpoint, I might say some things here at the end from a time standpoint, but I'm really excited to bring on Sam Thrush. He's the president of Downtown Chambersburg Incorporated, also an affiliate, just as the foundation is, as Jenny shared with us. And Sam is going to fill us in on who they are, what his job is as the president of Downtown Chambersburg Inc., the great events that they have throughout the year, and all they have accomplished in 2021 thus far. Just got done having a wonderful food truck festival that hopefully a lot of you that are on the call here today got to come down to Chambersburg and experience. So Sam, thanks for being here today. Floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Jordan. I apologize if, the internet's not working the best on my end. I apologize that. But I hope you can hear me. Jordan, can you hear me?
Loud and
All
clear,
right.
and I'm not seeing you lagging out or anything like that. Knock on
All right,
wood,
man.
so you're good.
All right. So Downtown Chambersburg Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are an affiliate of the Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce. We were formed in 1994. We've been with the Chamber since then. We've been a Main Street organization, meaning that we follow a Main Street approach, a national approach that a lot of main streets across the whole entire state and nation follows. You have organization development, you have promotions and marketing, design, economic vitality, and here in Pennsylvania, we add a fifth one called Safe, Clean, and Green. So we work on projects, programs, and initiatives related to all of those buckets or approaches or points, and we do all of those things to help revitalize our downtown. So why do we exist? Well, in short, I'll just point out two of them that's on this slide in front of you: to attract and retain businesses and to advocate and create synergy between businesses. One major reason why we're doing Food Truck Fest. We've had a spring one, we had a fall one in October 2020. Attract businesses. I had a conversation this morning with a food truck that is growing exponentially, and I would love to add him as an official prospect for whenever a space becomes available in our downtown. Another one, to be a conduit between residents, property owners, business owners, and to work with the borough and the community to solve issues to positively affect the perception, look, and feel of our downtown. Sometimes the job also requires us to identify development opportunities and promote incremental development. Notably, and I hope my slide moves on to the next page. It's not. So anyways, identify properties and trying to focus on getting investors in certain properties. We have done that several times. I skipped ahead a couple of pictures, but this is before COVID. Ice Fest of 2020. COVID was about what, Jordan, 3 or 4 weeks after this that
Right.
Closures started to happen, and we're one of the 3 partners with Ice Fest to make that 4-day festival happen in our downtown. There's another picture. We do this Ice Fest for this reason, but also from an economic development reason. We've attracted thousands, if not tens of thousands of people per day at Ice Fest. There's another picture of Ice Fest. It kind of gives you an idea. This is our premier event in our downtown, Ice Fest, and sadly in 2021, we had to cancel that event. Another responsibility or role that I have in our downtown is welcoming new businesses to our downtown and thanking them for the investment that they've done. More specifically, this right here is a picture of Black and Blush Women's Boutique. This is Brittany and Courtney. I actually worked with them hand in hand from the start of looking for spaces. I actually identified them as a 10 by 10 tent vendor. I'm like, hey, I think you have a future. Love for you to come have a coffee with me and walk up and down the street. We've welcomed Doug in 2020 at Beam Graphics. He's a chamber member. We've been able to get him a lot of business, both between Jordan and I, and we're grateful that he actually helped provide signs at the chamber golf tournament. as well. Now, some of the stuff that we have been successful on, we were successful in getting a facade grant from the state of Pennsylvania more recently at the early part of 2020. We were able to get that $50,000, and after all the funds are expended, total investment's $100,000 because the program's a 50-50 kind of program. So this is a picture of the improvements, the paint job that was done at Beam Graphics. Again, another facade improvement, and then a facade improvement on the side of the Foundry, which the Foundry, a quick plug about the Foundry's a project of Downtown Chambersburg, Inc. Back in 2016, 2015, we saw that there was a need to create an artist community here in our downtown as a part of an economic development part of our downtown to try to create that artist hub, and the Foundry is a key feature in that, and they have been taking off the past couple of years, and we're looking forward to the future of the Foundry. Again, more facade improvements that we have done with the property owners. We also welcome Council for the Arts to a new space. We are the conduit between the developers and financing for the developers. We help connect them to different types of financing solutions. We also celebrate with the developers when they find a tenant, or we celebrate with the tenants when they open. And we're grateful for the investment that has went into the space. It's at the corner of North King Street, it's at the corner of North Main Street and King Street in our downtown. It used to be a karate studio. We're grateful when we're able to help someone like Rocco, a chamber member, find the space along Queen Street. And we walked with them to help find that out. Now, when COVID hit and the business closures happened, we had to turn on a dime and actually lend some direct support. We actually had to handhold a lot of businesses to help find your state and federal funding and give the correct information, and text, phone call, email directly with them to make sure that at the end of this, they're still here. And we're thankful that we've only lost one business. It could have been a whole lot more. Mm-hmm. But we're thankful for what we've been able to do. We were able to do a Downtown Strong campaign where we were able to raise money, buy gift cards with those money, and then give the gift cards to medical professionals in our community. This is a small art program that we worked with the Council for the Arts and the Downtown Business Council. We really ratcheted up our efforts to kind of share with people exactly who is in our downtown and celebrate those businesses that are in our downtown. We were able to do some Facebook live interviews to, again, get the story out there of those business owners. We're thankful to Yomi and Kristen with Toy Box for able to share that. We've created a Facebook group between our businesses and stakeholders. So again, this is us trying to help give the correct communication of what COVID has what happened with COVID, and then where we're at now. And we still share to these Facebook groups to try to give the best news possible of what's happening. Just a couple different slides of what we were able to do. Now, more recently, we've been able to do a community survey. We were able to get 1,100 respondents to this community survey about, is downtown Chambersburg safe? Do we have unique businesses? Different questions like that. From time to time, we'll survey the community to get their understanding or their perception of what they believe for our downtown. And we use that to then try to craft action plans to help further revitalization for our downtown. So in short, we are a economic development design, program. That's our nonprofit. It's really trying to, over time, incremental development of not just the first floor, but second, third, and fourth. And I'm just glad to tell you that we're seeing residential investment added to our downtown, all across our downtown. And more notably, the Rose Rent Loft project is $11+ million. And that has given confidence to a lot of developers to develop in those buildings. We're really, really grateful to those developers and what we've been able to accomplish. Now, from a program, from an event standpoint, we've been able to create events that's been more COVID okay, meaning we've been able to add in a sip and stroll event, which we'll have our third ever sip and stroll event on May 8th, wine, cider, spirits, where you walk in, grab a sample, taste a sample, and then walk out. We've been able to add the food truck fest, as Jordan mentioned, our spring one, we had thousands of people at that event. We're grateful that we've been able to do that. We have some events that have been with us for quite a long time, and we're just as excited about those events. We have the Crab Feast. It's a annual crab feed event, and we have our Duck Derby event. So we have a lot of great events. Generally speaking, we do events that sorry, I just now saw the comments. Thank you, Christine. Generally, we do events for economic development reasons, or we're doing them for fundraising reasons. And the economic development reason for Food Truck Fest is that we're building relationships up with those restaurateurs to fill spaces up in our downtown. Looking at your question, Christine.
If it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it does. And let me touch on this. I mean, when we have building owners looking to develop their properties, we put them in direct connection, not just with Chambersburg Area Community Development Corporation or Chambersburg Area Development Corporation or the Community Development Corporation of Franklin County. We put them in touch with all the financial institutions that we have connections with. We put them in touch with all of the engineering companies that we have connections with to try to get the best solution for them to have the highest return on investment for the property. From an insurance standpoint, most of these businesses already have insurance, but if they don't have insurance, I send them over to insurance agents that we have connections with. We had somebody walk in the other day, a couple of weeks ago, asking about student loans for a new barber school. It was a barber school, and they're not ready, and they want to be located in our downtown, but they're not ready to be actually certified to accept student loans. So I put him in contact with a bunch of our financial institutions to just plainly ask them, hey, do you offer student loans for unaccredited places like them? And they're like, yeah, no, we actually don't offer student loans, but thank you so much for connecting us. I connect realtors to building owners, realtors to businesses, and so on. I mean, that's kind of a lot of the stuff that we do. I mean, there is that connector kind of focus. We are also recruiters. I will do cold calls to different businesses to see if they can fill a space in our downtown. We're grateful that we don't have that many available first floor vacant spaces on our main street. I mean, we are trying to increase the number of storefronts that we have, and that'll take some time, and it takes willing building owners to do that and to put that investment in. So does that answer your question, Christine?
I think what I was hoping to, my business used to be based in downtown, and I relocated to an in-home studio for my massage practice. And, but what I left downtown with was a deep appreciation for the downtown community and a desire to support it, because I think creating a robust downtown benefits me, even if I'm not physically located there. And I would love to support the downtown community with my business. I do with myself as a resident, but wondering what options I have to kind of support the businesses downtown, and also maybe to speak a little bit about how that could benefit my business by doing that. Yeah,
I certainly love to expand the conversation offline, but we do have our downtown as a whole, we do have different types of street fair events where, you know, having you as a vendor at that event could benefit. We have an organization, they're friends of us, they're not us, but they're friends of us. It's the Merchants Association that runs our Apple Fest and our Old Market Day. So you know, if you're looking for an opportunity to set up, you know, your massage services at that event, you know, through me, I could get you connected to the right person to talk about those specific events. Right now for Food Truck Fest, we're not there yet to offer non-food, beverage, or sponsors space at that event right now. But I thank you so much, Christine, and I look forward to when you're able to have a studio back on Main Street or on any of our cross streets in our downtown. We also have the Christmas parade as well. So I don't know if you like to put a masseuse chair on a float in the Christmas parade.
Maybe a massage school.
There you go. So. But we have a lot of different opportunities throughout downtown. Downtown's also a great place for you to have business meetings. We have various different opportunities ranging from an outdoor table at Dedham Coffee to a somewhat private clandestine location above the waterfall. Sometimes you'll see me have meetings there so no one can hear me with those waterfalls. But then sometimes there's also the locations like Bistro 71 or Falafel Shack. I'm just gonna drop some small news. Falafel Shack is going to be opening up a second floor space up above their building, meaning there's going to be space for you to have business meetings up there. Now, Grace, I'm seeing you celebrating, and I can tell you that I don't really know exactly the date on when they're going to do that. But the thing is, it's coming. We're grateful that it's coming to have more opportunities for business meetings, private meetings. Jordan's looking at me like I'm talking way too much. He's like, Sam talks way too much. But the reality is we're seeing a lot of great stuff in our downtown. We're grateful for all the interest that we have in our downtown. We have developers doing projects on floors in our downtown that hasn't seen any action for multiple decades. And a lot of it spurred because of not just because of the courthouse project of $70 million plus dollars on that project, but also the $11 million investment at Rose Rent Loss. And we're really excited about what he's also working on, which is the Work at Central project, which is more office opportunities in our downtown, as well as a project that Chambersburg Area Development Corporation is going to be working on the next year or so. So we got a lot of great stuff happening in our downtown. We still got issues that we got to resolve. It's incremental improvements over time. It feels like we've been on a fast train lately, but we'll get there and we'll get the right setup. But I hope that answered your question. I thank you guys for your time. Jordan, did you have any questions?
Sam, we do actually have one more question. I'm not sure if you had seen this one or not.
I did it.
And we're good on time. Just another few minutes, obviously, and then I'll be able to finish up. But any plans to focus on the historical value of downtown Chambersburg, such as revitalizing the Firehouse Museum or things like that?
Well, the Firehouse Museum, and I believe that's the one they're referring to up on Broad Street, and I believe that has been kind of organically been improved over recent years. Now, historical values that historical improvements that we've seen in our downtown. I tend to focus us more towards encouraging, the facades to be improved to certain historical integrity. From a programmatic standpoint, we love for our friends, our partners in that realm, the Tourism Bureau, the Historical Society, to kind of carry on that programmatic, history walks or ghost tours or different things like that. One side note, we do have a gallows in our downtown. The last person to hang from that was before 1920. And that is actually at the old jail. Now, we will do our best to highlight our friends, our partners that are in that historic realm. Now, there's also, with regards to historic values, there's also that topic of historic preservation. And we encourage our developers. I mean, any opportunity that I get, and it's challenging with some of the small scale developers because the projects that they're doing versus the potential tax credit that you get at a national or a state historic tax credit perspective doesn't always work out to their benefit for how small their project is. But we do advocate for those things. You got Vern McKissy. He did look at that for the Rose Rent Loft project. However, he decided at the end of the day that it didn't necessarily work out for his project because he needed to also provide some float space for fire trucks and private parking and whatnot. So he had to tear down part of the building. Notably, he tore down the part that made sense, and also from a historical sense that it was okay to tear that part down. That's like a 1970s edition rather than the 1920s or the 1930s to that project. So, but we love historic preservation. I am never going to be advocating for a building to be torn down for a parking lot. That will never come out of my mouth. But when we do have organizations that are downtown that are looking at that, that's where it's my job to kind of step up and say, hey, have you considered an alternative so that we can at least keep that historical facade to that building? So,
Sam, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, well, appreciate it. I don't see any other questions coming through for you, Sam. So again, thanks for all you do for obviously downtown. Again, if anyone wants to reach out to you, I will include your information whenever we send this video out later today, okay? All right. So everyone, let me just finish up. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone's time. I will not be long-winded after this. We'll tidy things up here in the next 3-4 minutes or so. But just really want to say thanks for being here. Being a chamber member gets you many wonderful perks, and I'm constantly, as the membership director, searching for other ways to find more perks that make people want to join the chamber. If your business or anything like that ever wants to have the conversation of ways that we can potentially do that, I'm all ears. Ways that we can find it mutually beneficial to the both of us. Let's have that meeting and certainly talk. So obviously today we hit on the health benefits side of things, the electric benefits side of things, our Chamber Plus dividend program. We heard from Ginny at the foundation, and then we heard from Sam from Downtown Chambersburg, Inc. I thought it was really beneficial to hear from all of those folks, because obviously I get the opportunity to sit down with all of you and tell you all there is to know about membership. But with that being said, I think it is still important that I get back in your ears and say to you, please make sure you're taking benefits of these certain things. And I'm going to share my screen with you again here quickly. And what I'm going to show you here is our website. And that is because I want to make sure everybody is still I'm making sure everybody takes part in advertising within our Outlook newsletter, because it is something free that you have the ability to do every single month, as long as you get us information over in a good time frame. So I'm sorry, let me reshare my screen here, as I was on the wrong one, I believe. This looks a little bit better, I do believe. So here's our Outlook newsletter. So basically, as you flip through this, it shows all the new members that we have from a month-to-month basis, a little bit about the chair's message there from Luke. And I want to show you the important part over here is these are our inserts. So if you ever, to get some notoriety to your business, these go into the hands of over 600 different businesses. We send this out both physical copies as well as digital copies. So if you want, it's $195 to put an insert in here, and you have to give us the 600 copies of the insert. But if you really want people to see, your business and quickly and what you have going on, to put something in here is a fabulous idea. So I highly implore all of you do it. From a free aspect, you have the member spotlight. So 2 of these go in per Outlook newsletter. So we'd love to put you in here whenever we can. So obviously, the quicker you get us this information, the quicker we can get you scheduled to go in here. So please, if you haven't been a member spotlight in quite some time, get us that information over and we'll schedule you your spot in there. And here's the part that I really want to make sure you all take advantage of as members. This is free. So it's news from our members, interesting news from our members. So essentially, every single month, as long as you get us the information before the 15th, we can put you in here. So let's say you hire a new employee, you brought on a new member added to your book of business, something like that. Anything you want to celebrate, give us that information because we want to make sure we put it in our Outlook newsletter for you. So that's something that we have to offer. I saw as I was looking here from a comment standpoint, Pat had brought up about the chamber card, and Pat, you're 100% right. Definitely wanted to make sure I touched on that as well. So actually, let me end my share screen here real quick and redo this. I am going to go to my screen 2 here. Hopefully you see here the e-blast rate and everything like that. Quickly, let me touch on that before I go to the chamber card. Our e-blasts are something for a just a regular chamber member. They're going to be $99. For nonprofits, they're $75. And what they look like, hopefully everybody is able to see this here on my screen now. This is what an e-blast looks like. So the United Way did one for May of Caring virtual event, just because they wanted obviously a lot of folks, most of our members, to participate in something like that. So this is the e-blast they did. I'm sure they obviously got this one for $75, but it's bright, colorful, and this goes out to over 1,300 different individuals within our membership platform. So if you're ever interested in doing something like that, it's a great way to get eyes on your business again. And then last but not least, let me get out of that. As Pat shared with me, I wanted to make sure I touched on I was actually up a little bit, the chamber card and the chamber dollar program. And that is, I'm missing, there, here we go. Sorry about that, everyone. So the chamber card program. So as most of you know, again, this year it was our first year going into our new tiered dues investment level format, and I won't touch on that at this new member orientation. I may at future ones, but we have our chamber card, and depending the level you join us at, you actually get participation with this chamber card. If you just join us at a business builder level, which we have plenty of business builders within our chamber as well, it's an additional $50 to take part in our chamber card. But what you get from this chamber card is amazing. For less than $1 per week, your business can reach thousands. The chamber card is a free discount key card that consumers present at participating businesses for deals and specials. More than 35,000 cards are in circulation. So if you're anybody in the community that wants one of these, all they need to do is come to the chamber. They can pick them up, and then they go to these participating businesses, just show their chamber card, and then they have the ability to save. So for instance, as we see here, the first business that's listed is Applebee's. If you go into Applebee's, you order and show your chamber card before they bring out your check, you save 10% on your total bill. So you can get creative with that. Obviously, that works for the restaurant setting. Obviously, not everybody that's in the chamber's restaurant, so you can get creative with how that chamber card works. So those are just some of the other things that we have going on. We have a chamber ambassador program, which is really ramping back up thanks to the help of my friend Matt Bear from First Do Lawn Care and Landscape. He had joined the chamber last year, and because of just how the year went, we weren't able to have a ton of mixers and other things like that. So he was like, hey, what are like some of the other things that we can really get out of the chamber as benefit? Because, with how 2020 went, unfortunately, there wasn't tons and tons of benefit I got from being a member. And so I told him a little bit about our ambassador group, and now we've been really creative in getting that running. So for instance, before, how the ambassador group worked, it was, for new members, whenever you're a new member, you get a chamber plaque, for instance. So as an ambassador, you have the ability to get one of these plaques and then take it to take it to the new member business, introduce yourself as that new as a business owner and as a chamber ambassador. So we're actually going to continue doing those different things. We're going to keep having registration tables at mixers, so it's easy for the ambassadors to meet people that way. But something we're really doing, which I'm super excited about, is having our ambassadors be more of liaisons. So what that's going to look like at first is, and I'm hoping this number grows, but each ambassador is going to have 10 different members that they are sort of the caretakers for. Given that we have a membership of over 700, as much as I would love to reach out to every single person, you know, every month and see how things are going, it is just impossible for me to do so. So with the help of this ambassador group, we're actually going to have a draft our next meeting, and we meet every third Friday of the month. If you're a member, you can be a part of this group. Please reach out to me for more information. I'd be happy to give you that. But we're going to give each of these ambassadors 10 folks, and they are going to be in charge of them for the foreseeable future. So for instance, whenever we're back to having mixers and things like that, rather than me reaching out to every single person that I think, you know, would be of interest to reach out to, these liaisons, these ambassadors now will reach out to these folks and be like, hey, you know, today at OSI, there's going to be a mixer from 4 to 6 p.m. You know, so-and-so is going and this other person's going. I thought it'd be a great opportunity for you to meet these individuals. You know, please show up there at 4:45 and we'll go in together. So if you're interested in being an ambassador within the chamber, please let me know. We're really recruiting heavily for that right now, as we're blessed to have such a large membership pool to pull from. So yeah, everybody, lots going on. Really appreciate you being here today for this first new member orientation that we've been able to have for a while. The first one that I've actually been able to have with everyone since I came aboard in November of 2019. So I really appreciate it. Hopefully they only keep getting better. Any more questions that I missed here? Let me see here. A couple more over here, it looks like. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks like just a bunch of people checking out. So everyone, really appreciate your time. Obviously, we're coming up against the shut off. So thank you. Have a great day. And if you all have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll see y'all later. Thank you.
Everyone did a great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Grace. Bye-bye.